let's start tapping. How does your body feel that freeze response?
Well, my shoulders get stiff, my jaw clenches, and I have a kind of an adrenaline feeling in my chest.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Even though I'm really good at the freeze response,
Even though I'm really good at the freeze response,
I've practiced it many times in many lifetimes.
I practiced it many times in many lifetimes,
Including this life.
including this life.
I freeze around being a spiritual healer.
I freeze around being a spiritual healer.
I freeze around a relationship.
I freeze around a relationship.
I freeze around confrontation.
I freeze around confrontation.
I'm a freezer.
I'm a freezer.
And I feel it in my clenched jaw.
I feel it in my clenched jaw.
My stiff shoulders.
My stiff shoulders.
And I feel it like tension in my chest.
I feel it like tension in my chest.
And I ask my guides and higher self.
And I ask my guides and higher self.
And the multidimensional layers of my DNA.
And the multidimensional layers of my DNA.
To help me process and release this freeze response.
To help me process and release this freeze response.
Freeze reaction.
Freeze reaction.
Out of my body.
Out of my body.
All the way back to its origin.
All the way back to its origin.
Freeze reaction.
Freeze reaction.
If I freeze, I'll be safe.
If I freeze, I'll be safe.
Feeling of freeze reaction in my shoulders.
A feeling of freeze reaction in my shoulders.
My clenched jaw.
In my clenched jaw.
Tension in my chest.
And in my chest.
I thank my DNA for holding on to this.
I thank my DNA for holding on to this.
For freezing me so I'd hopefully be invisible.
For freezing me so I'd hopefully be invisible.
Be as quiet as a mouse and not make a sound.
Be quiet as a mouse and not make a sound.
That feeling of hiding.
That feeling of hiding.
That freeze reaction of fear.
That freeze reaction of fear.
It's been my preferred survival mode.
It's been my preferred survival mode.
And it served me well in many lifetimes.
And it served me well in many lifetimes.
Including this one.
Including this one.
And I am a being of light.
And I am a being of light.
I have full free choice.
And I have full free choice.
And I'm putting my body on notice.
And I'm putting my body on notice.
And letting my body know this freeze reaction no longer serves me.
And letting my body know this freeze reaction no longer serves me.
And I instruct all pieces and parts of me.
And I instruct all pieces and parts of me.
To process and release this freeze reaction.
To process and release this freeze reaction.
Fear reaction.
And fear reaction.
Where I want to hide.
Where I want to hide.
I only feel safe if I'm hiding.
I only feel safe if I'm hiding.
I release and let it go all the way back through all my lifetimes.
I release and let it go all the way back through all my lifetimes.
In those lifetimes, it kept me safe.
In those lifetimes, it kept me safe.
But it no longer serves me in my current life.
But it no longer serves me in my current life.
And I want to step into to use my spiritual gifts.
And I want to step into using my spiritual gifts.
I want to step into being a healer.
I want to step into being a healer.
And I let all of my DNA know.
I let all my DNA know.
That in my current life.
That in my current life.
In my current vibration.
In my current vibration.
Consciousness of this energy allows me to be seen.
Consciousness of this energy allows me to be seen.
To be seen as a healer.
To be seen as a healer.
To be seen in a relationship.
To be seen in a relationship.
I won't be betrayed this time.
I'm sorry?
I won't be betrayed this time.
I won't be betrayed this time.
That feeling of being betrayed.
That feeling of being betrayed.
That feeling of not being safe.
The feeling of not being safe.
I release and let go of the violence and trauma.
I release and let go of the violence and trauma.
From all pieces and parts of my DNA.
From all pieces and parts of my DNA.
My consciousness and subconsciousness.
My consciousness and subconscious.
I thank the multidimensional layers of my DNA for protecting
the multidimensional layers of my DNA.
For protecting me. For protecting me.
For protecting me.
But it no longer serves me.
But it no longer serves me.
And I choose to process and release this fear.
And I choose to process and release this fear.
Frozen fear.
Frozen fear.
Out of my jaw.
Out of my jaw.
Out of my shoulders.
Out of my shoulders.
Out of my chest.
Out of my chest.
I imagine a beautiful warm sunlight.
I imagine a beautiful warm sunlight.
Melting away that frozen fear.
To melt away that frozen fear.
Melting it away back to all the lifetimes I've felt it.
Melting it away back to all the lifetimes I've felt it.
Including this one.
Including this one.
It's safe to feel the warmth of love.
It's safe to feel the warmth of love.
The warmth of connection.
Warmth of connection.
I choose to feel warmth melting away fear.
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 From all the memories of this life.
From all the memories of this life.
Where I was frozen in fear.
Where I was frozen in fear.
And all the memories of other lives.
From all the memories of other lives.
Where I was frozen in fear.
Where I was frozen in fear.
I let my DNA know these are outdated programs.
I let my DNA know these are outdated programs.
And it's safe to release them now.
And it's safe to release them now.
Asking my guides and higher self. Asking my guides.
Asking my guides and higher self.
To help me feel the warmth of love.
To help me feel the warmth of love.
Safety and protection.
Safety and protection.
Even in fearful situations.
Even in fearful situations.
Like confrontation. Like confrontation.
Like confrontation.
I choose to feel the warmth of connection.
I choose to feel the warmth of connection.
And I send the fear of confrontation back to where it belongs.
And I send the fear of confrontation back to where it belongs.
Letting my body know I'm safe.
Letting my body know I'm safe.
Even when I hear angry, loud voices.
Even when I hear angry, loud voices.
I let my body know I'm safe.
I let my body know I'm safe.
Even around confronting loud people.
Even when I'm confronting loud people.
Like my father in my childhood.
Like my father in my childhood.
I release and let go of the fear.
I release and let go of the fear.
Especially held in my jaw.
Especially held in my jaw.
My shoulders.
In my shoulders.
And my chest.
And my chest.
I melt it away.
I melt it away.
And I know I'm safe now.
And I know I'm safe now.
I send their anger back to where it belongs.
I send their anger back to where it belongs.
And I choose to feel safe in my body.
And I choose to feel safe in my body.
Safe to be seen.
It is safe to be seen.
Safe to be heard.
It is safe to be heard.
It's safe to be loved in a relationship.
It is safe to be loved in a relationship.
I am lovable.
I am lovable.
It's safe to be loved in a relationship.
It's safe to be loved in a relationship.
And I release all fear around not being lovable.
I release all fear around not being lovable.
It's safe to be loved in a relationship.
It's safe to be loved in a relationship.
And I ask my guides and higher self
And I ask my guides and higher self
to help me feel comfortable with being loved in a relationship,
to help me feel comfortable with being loved in a relationship,
even though I haven't practiced it much.
even though I haven't practiced it much.
I choose to step into the unknown
I choose to step into the unknown
and know that I'm safe.
and know that I'm safe.
So it's unknown. Even though it's unknown,
Even though it's unknown,
I choose to feel safe.
I choose to feel safe.
And I ask my guides and higher self
And I ask my guides and higher self
to send me the signs and synchronicities.
to give me signs and synchronicities.
Yeah. That lead me to the right person for the
Lead me
right
to
relationship.
the right person
For the right relationship
and the right relationship
that is matching my vibration.
that is matching my vibration.
I release the fear
And release the fear
that's been blocking me from relationships.
that's been blocking me from relationships.
I release it back to its origin.
I release it back to its origin.
It's safe for me to step into the unknown now.
It's safe for me to step into the unknown now.
I take the hand of my guides,
I take the hand of my guides,
and I know they'll lead me to where I need to be.
and I know they'll lead me to where I need to be.
I ask for them to place me in my sweet spot,
I ask them to place me in my sweet spot,
where I'm meant to be,
where I'm meant to be,
for the highest good of me and others.
for the highest good of me and others.
It's safe for me to be in my sweet spot now.
It's safe for me to be in my sweet spot now.
Deep breath. How does that How does that feel for you?
I felt my throat closing.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary.
Yeah.
You know, I've done so much work around this, Jenny, but until today, I don't think I knew that it was about freezing.
Mm. Yeah. Frozen in fear.
Freeze and disappear.
Mm. And it's also about the unknown. You know, Cryan also says to us that the stepping into the unknown is one of the biggest things, the biggest fears of human beings. Stepping into
Yes.
the unknown, and it's safe to be in the known. So, two of the parables I want you to listen to for homework is "Woe and the Room of Lessons." Everyone can do that. "Woe and the Room of Lessons" and "The Missing Bridge." They're both parables.
The missing breach.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, my entire life right now is about stepping into the unknown.
Mm,
The minute I open my front door, it's all unknown.
exactly. Yep. So it's, like COVID is very much testing all of our fears at the moment.